Experience miraculous sleep, 7 days to divine guidance and meet your heavenly spirit guide. As the moon cast a silvery glow over the quaint English village, Mary found herself crumpled on her bed, surrendering to exhaustion. The day had been a whirlwind: 2 lively children, a demanding job at the local school, and an emotionally charged family prayer gathering had left her heart yearning for divine direction. Too weary to utter a prayer, she collapsed, seeking solace in sleep. Just as she drifted into the depths of slumber, a wave of stillness enveloped her. Suddenly, the atmosphere shifted. Vibrant lights danced before her, filling the room with a heavenly glow. An angelic figure graced her vision, radiant and serene, with shimmering wings that seemed to whisper secrets of the universe. "Fear not, dear heart," the angel spoke, voice like soft chimes, "for in the coming week, miracles await you." Mary gasped, fully aware of the extraordinary moment unfolding. The angel continued, "Trust in the path before you, stars will align, and blessings will flow." As clarity enveloped her spirit, tears streamed down Mary's cheeks. A profound joy mingled with disbelief. Could this truly be a divine promise? When she awoke, hope ignited within her yet flickered with skepticism. A week of miracles? It felt almost too incredible to believe. Gathering herself, she ventured to St. Stephen's Church, where the air pulsed with excitement and faith. Each parishioner seemed to sparkle with stories of healing, blessings, and transformational grace. Mrs. Hargrove's testimony struck a chord deep within her. How could anyone listen to her tale of miraculous recovery and not feel the pulse of divine possibility? Days rolled by, and the weight of doubt settled heavily upon Mary's heart. Questions plagued her: was it all just coincidence? Would blessings truly unfold? The realities of the new policy at school loomed large over her, but as panic rose, she found herself grasping at worldly solutions, advice from colleagues, endless online research, all to no avail. Each attempt felt hollow, stirring a disconnection from her faith. Just when her spirit began to wear thin, the community prayer vigil lit a spark of hope. The church, adorned in candlelight, echoed with heartfelt prayers. Joy and reverence swirled like a sacred breeze. As she listened to each testimony, a kinship rekindled her love for the divine, reminding her of the strength found in community. When it was her turn to speak, vulnerability washed over her, prompting her to share her internal struggle. As she poured out her heart, she felt the prayers of her church family like a warm embrace, stitching together her fraying spirit. Just then, a thunderous noise erupted outside, shaking the very foundations of her being. Was it another sign? What did the Lord truly desire of her? With her heart poised on the edge of revelation, uncertainty loomed over her, thick and palpable. What lies ahead? She pondered as the divine mystery seemed to linger, waiting to unfold her destiny. Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. With each passing moment, the air over St. Stephen's vibrated with unexplainable energy, and Mary's heart braced for an encounter that might just redefine everything she thought she knew about faith, miracles, and the angelic promise that beckoned her towards a destiny yet unfathomed. As the vigil carried on, an unearthly stillness settled over the congregation, as if the very essence of prayer hung thick in the air. Mary felt her heart race, a flutter of anticipation mingling with the weight of her uncertainties. She drew in a deep breath, her spirit yearning for connection with the divine. What would the week hold for her? Would the miracles truly come to pass? With each flickering candlelight, she sensed the warmth of hope wrapping around her like a soft cloak. The familiar faces of her church had transformed into reflections of divine love, illuminating the path she had almost lost sight of. She remembered the angel's words, urging her to trust. Faith, after all, could sometimes feel like standing at the edge of a great abyss, certain only of the fear of the fall. Yet, Perhaps faith was the unwavering belief that the ground would catch her. On the following day, as she prepared for work, Mary felt an unshakable resolve washing over her. Ready to meet the challenges, she stepped into the classroom feeling renewed. The children's laughter and curiosity enveloped her, each little face a reminder of God's promise and the purity of joy. With each question, each spark of learning, she felt a glimmer of the miraculous. Yet, when she checked her email, her heart sank. The news about mass layoffs had struck, threatening her job and the security the school provided to her family. In that moment, the weight of her fears came crashing back. Doubt clawed at her, whispering cruelly, was this what the angel had meant? A promise of blessings amidst loss. Just as panic threatened to engulf her, a soft voice inside her urged stillness, a gentle reminder to lean into faith rather than retreat in dread. At lunchtime, she wandered into the peaceful sanctuary of the church garden, yearning for divine reassurance. The sun bathed the rose bushes in a radiance that felt almost sacred, and as she sat amongst the flowers, Mary closed her eyes and breathed in deep. A vibrant gust of wind swirled around her, and with it came a budding realization blessings often resided in the unexpected. Suddenly, thoughts of her colleagues emerged in her mind, their kindnesses, their shared stories, and the unity they had forged through teaching together. Memories of laughter over coffee breaks brought a smile to her lips. What if this was a calling to explore the strength found in their collective faith? The idea bloomed in her heart, and she could feel the pulse of possibility begin to stir. That evening, she gathered with her fellow teachers to discuss the future of their school. To her surprise, they all shared the same fears and uncertainties. With each honesty unveiled, the room transformed from a gathering filled with dread to one buzzing with hope. They prayed together, hands held high, voices intertwining in surrender and triumph. Mary realized then that miracles could manifest in the unity of unyielding spirits confronting adversity together. Feeling empowered, she penned a heartfelt letter to the school board, carefully pleading for their support. As she sealed the envelope, a wave of peace swept over her, stirring in her spirit a profound joy. The angel's promise began to feel real, vibrant, alive, yet just as she felt the tide of hope rising, a strange chill pricked at her skin. It was a feeling that something unexpected was still in store for her. An urge to step beyond her comfort zone tugged at her heart. What else lies in wait for me? She wondered, excitement and trepidation colliding within her. Little did she know that in the days to come, the divine revelations would unfold in ways she had never imagined. The days rolled on, each one bringing a blend of anxiety and surprising grace. Mary noticed something stirring within her. The angel's presence seemed to linger, guiding her thoughts and nudging her heart toward uncharted territories. She awoke each morning with renewed purpose, the heaviness of worry lightened by whispers of hope. As she stepped into the school halls, a warmth swelled in her chest. Her colleagues began to approach her, sharing small revelations born during their collective prayers. These encounters transformed the usual chatter of the teacher's lounge into profound conversations about faith, community, and courage. Mary felt the Spirit moving among them, knitting their fears into a tapestry of resilience. Then came the day of the school board meeting, a critical moment for their futures. Anticipation hung thick in the air as she and her colleagues gathered in the small, sunlit room. Students, once mere faces in the crowded classroom, now felt like the very heartbeat of their purpose. Each child represented the dreams and potentials they were fighting for. Hand in hand, they entered the meeting space, hearts racing with a fierce unity. Mary prayed fervently, her mind dancing between anxiety and certainty. Would their voices echo loud enough to reach the ears of decision-makers? She leaned into the words of the angel in her heart, trust. Trust and speak. When faced with the school board, she felt a wave of divine courage crash over her. Each teacher took turns speaking their truth, each voice intertwining with a melody of vulnerability. Mary's heart swelled as she listened to her colleagues share not just their concerns but eloquent stories of impact, of lives changed because of their love for teaching. It was then something extraordinary happened. A gentle breeze swept through the open window, as if heaven itself were eavesdropping and sending its blessings down. There was an exquisite stillness in the room, a brief moment when fear faded into silence, allowing hope to rise. The school board members visibly softened, listening, contemplating not just numbers but lives intertwined in love and service. When it came to Mary's turn, her voice trembled slightly, but as she spoke, she remembered the garden's vibrant colors, the pure laughter of her students, and the faith-filled prayers she shared with her coworkers. Closing our school would be more than a number on a page. It would affect families, dreams, and futures. We stand here together, united in love and purpose. We ask for your support, not just for us, but for the very heart of this community. As the last words hung in the air, Mary felt an indescribable peace flow through her, enveloping her in warmth. The board listened intently, and she could feel the Holy Spirit swirling around them, turning the tide of doubt into something far more powerful. Hope. Days turned into restless nights as they awaited the board's decision. Fear, although lurking, began to be overshadowed by anticipation. Mary prayed deeply, her soul yearning for assurance. It was during one of these quiet nights that she found herself gazing at the stars, pondering the vast universe and the infinite ways God could manifest miracles. That in her heart, an unquenchable light flickered, igniting into a wildfire of belief. What if this is just the beginning? She mused. There was so much more to the divine plan than she could perceive. She turned her thoughts toward her students, the joy they sparked in her life. And in that revelatory moment, realization dawned upon her: she was not merely fighting to save a school. Perhaps this chapter of her life was about opening doors to greater purposes, greater blessings, that she had not yet discovered. At that moment, she understood that the divine was asking her to dream bigger. The Spirit was inviting her to step forth not just into faith, but into a new vision, a vision that extended beyond walls and classrooms. What could this new path look like? The next morning arrived, bringing with it an unexpected message. Her heart raced as she opened her email, revealing news that could change everything. What awaited her now? Would she find the courage to embrace the new beginnings that were unfurling before her? Mary's heart thudded in her chest as she read the email. The words seemed to dance across the screen, pulling her focus entirely. It was an invitation, an opportunity to present their case to a larger audience, a community forum that would include parents, local leaders, and even members of the press. The email promised a chance to share their mission beyond the confines of the boardroom where their voices had just begun to find traction. This was the expansive platform she had been longing for, but with this spark of potential came the familiar cloud of doubt. Could they galvanize the community enough to truly shift the tides? Could they provide the broader narrative that would weave their stories into a compelling vision for the future? The fear whispered loud, casting shadows over her heart. Yet the angel's presence nudged her gently, urging her to hold on to that flickering faith. Trust, it hissed softly in her ear. Mary took a deep breath, feeling the comforting warmth wash over her. Gathering a few of her colleagues, they met under the soft glow of the school's courtyard lights. They shared ideas, stories, and hopes. Each teacher's voice rang out like a bell, clear and vibrant, resonating with the spirit of unity. There was laughter, and there were tears, but above all, there was profound commitment to their cause. As they prepared for the upcoming forum, Mary felt, almost tangibly, the Spirit infusing their plans with urgency and vitality. She began to pray, seeking not just guidance but also the divine creativity so they could articulate the very essence of their mission. With every word of dialogue that flowed during their meetings, her confidence bloomed, and the communities they loved became her canvas. Soon, the day of the community forum dawned bright and hopeful. The buzz was palpable as parents gathered, friends exchanged hugs, and supporters mingled in the colorful hallways of the school. It felt like a gathering of a family united, each person contributing their heart to a larger purpose. Mary took all of this in, overwhelmed by the love swirling around her. As she took her place at the podium, her eyes sought out familiar faces in the crowd: smiling parents, enthusiastic students, and devoted colleagues, their eyes shimmering with promise. She drew strength from their presence, feeling as if the very walls of the room were amplified with energy, anticipating something significant to unfold. It was time. Her voice quivered slightly but steadied as she spoke the words from her heart. She painted vivid pictures of the students' dreams, of their laughter, challenges, and triumphs. She shared anecdotes of resilience, moments of grace, and a vision that transcended mere numbers. With every shared testament, Mary felt the realization that this battle was not solely about a school, it was about nurturing souls, building a future filled with love and light. Then the extraordinary happened again. As she paused to breathe, a sunbeam broke through the clouds, spilling golden light across the room. Gasps filled the air, and the warmth enveloped her once more, confirming that something divine was at work. The crowd leaned forward, wrapped in the warmth of hope, and for Mary, it felt as if she was being carried by unseen hands. She spoke of dreams that needed nurturing, of lives intertwined in splendor. It was not just a plea but a promise. They would grow together, unlock potentials, and fortify the community against any storm. When she finished, an electric silence followed, punctuated by a ripple of applause that rose like a wave. Her heart soared, and all doubts fell away. The spirit was moving. Days turned into a whirlwind of excitement as news of their presentation spread. The community buzzed with discussions and newfound fervor, petitions surged, and letters of support flowed in from every corner. It was as if a holy fire ignited within them all, a collective awakening, but in the midst of this miraculous momentum, a flicker of hesitation brewed beneath her heart. With so much energy propelling them forward, what if the weight of expectation dimmed their unique voices? What if the joy found in unity began to break apart under pressure? Mary sought solace in prayer, pouring her heart out to God once more. What was the message behind this abundance? Where was it leading them? As these thoughts raced through her mind, another unexpected email arrived, setting her heart aglow yet again. The subject line read, "A new opportunity." What could this opening lead to? What wonders awaited them next? Mary's fingers trembled slightly as she clicked on the email. The familiar rush of hope surged through her veins as she read the enticing subject line again, "A new opportunity." Her curiosity mixed with prayerful anticipation. What lay within? She opened the email, her heart eager yet anxious. It spoke of a regional meeting aimed at gathering the most passionate voices in education, those ready to address not only the challenges in their schools but also to revitalize the joy of learning. It invited them to share the strategies that had so profoundly impacted their community. Oh, how her spirit rippled! A dream shared is a dream cultivated, the message echoed in her mind. Yet, along with excitement, the weight of responsibility loomed. They could be stepping into an influential space where the stakes were higher, voices louder, and opinions varied. Would they truly be able to convey their story authentically? That evening, she gathered her team again in the warm embrace of the courtyard lights. They sat in a circle, holding hands like a chain of faith, while the moon gazed down, bathing them in silvery light. "Let us pray," she began, feeling unity flowing through them. As they bowed their heads, Mary felt an electric fervor rise, a connection to something larger than themselves. With every prayer, the worries waned. Instead, she felt a flood of clarity. We need to tell our authentic story. Our mission is to uplift, not just to inform, she urged, voice rising above the gentle whispers of the night. Encouragement blossomed around them. Each teacher shared their experiences, highlighting students' moments of triumph and transformation. Laughter intertwined with sobs as they recalled struggles that had, in turn, ignited hope. In this sacred space, they crafted a collaborative narrative, a tapestry woven with dreams, resilience, and love. When they finished, a comforting silence enveloped them. Mary's pulse quickened as she sensed the Spirit's presence. She felt hearts aligned, their mission clear. The anticipation deepened. They were ready to create a ripple that reached far beyond their community. Days flew by, and the date of the regional meeting approached swiftly. They devoted themselves to preparation, poring over facts, recapping their triumphs, but most importantly, ensuring that their voices reflected the spirit of those they represented. It was not merely a presentation, it was an act of faith, a window into their hopes for the future. On the morning of the meeting, Mary stood in front of her mirror, gathering courage. Looking into her own eyes, she whispered, "Let it shine through me, Lord." As she arrived at the venue, the building buzzed with energy. Educators, parents, and leaders familiar and new peppered the hallways. She could sense their diverse stories mingling in the air, hopes intertwining in invisible threads. It felt electric. Taking her seat among the panel, she noticed a woman across the table. The woman met her gaze, offering a slight, understanding smile. In that brief exchange, Mary sensed a kindred spirit, a reminder that they were all woven into one fabric of divine purpose. When it was their turn to present, Mary felt the eyes of the room on her, heavy and expectant. Sensing the need for authenticity, she centered herself, remembering the commitment they had made together. As her colleagues began to share, they spoke of love, determination, and community support. Hope filled every word. Mary felt something shifting in the atmosphere. An energy pulsed, igniting conversations, hearts beating as one in faith. Then suddenly, the lights flickered, and a hush fell over the crowd. Mary looked up, startled, feeling an unmistakable surge of divine courage flow through her. It was a moment pregnant with possibility. Sometimes, God moves in the quiet, she pondered silently, leading her through the threads of unity that bound them all. Just then, words began to pour forth, not merely from her lips, but from the depths of her spirit, igniting passion in each listener's hearts. The moment felt transcendent, as if time itself had paused to bear witness. As Mary finished speaking, she locked eyes with the woman again. There was recognition, and something unspoken passed between them. What did this unexpected connection mean? Would they find ways to collaborate beyond this moment? Something divine was stirring, and she sensed the Spirit guiding them into new realms. As the meeting closed amidst applause, Mary felt a mix of triumph and anticipation echoing within her. This was only the beginning. What awaited them as the threads of their journey intertwined with others? What divine revelations lay just beyond the horizon, waiting to be unveiled? The applause still rang in her ears, a sweet symphony of acknowledgement and hope. Mary felt an overwhelming sense of purpose settle over her, yet the room buzzed with energies untamed, each participant laden with their own aspirations. As the crowd dispersed, she turned to the woman who had captured her attention during the panel. "Hi, I'm Mary," she said, extending her hand. "I'm Sarah," the woman replied, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. "Your words were incredibly moving. I could feel the passion behind them." Mary felt a warmth at the compliment. "Thank you. I sensed something special here today, something divine." "Absolutely," Sarah agreed. "It's like we are all pieces of a bigger puzzle, meant to connect and complete something beautiful." With a heart full of encouragement, Mary asked, "What inspired you to come today?" As Sarah shared her story, Mary drew closer, drawn by the sincerity in her voice. She spoke of her own struggles within the educational system, her desire to bring change, and the dreams she held for her own students. They both understood firsthand the weight of these dreams and the desire for transformation. "Perhaps we can collaborate?" Sarah proposed, a glimmer of excitement igniting in her eyes. Mary felt the Spirit nudging her, urging her to say yes. "Yes. Let us form a network, take these ideas and grow them." As they exchanged contact information, a sense of joy bubbled up in Mary's heart. Divine connections crisscrossing, leading them towards something greater than their individual efforts. In the following weeks, Mary found herself drawn back to the courtyard where she and her team had prayed. The space felt sacred, whispering softly of miracles yet to come. She gathered with Sarah and others, sharing their visions, sharing the weight of their dreams. Again they prayed, voices weaving together like a tapestry, each thread representing a desire for change. Each prayer was an act of faith that something beautiful would be birthed from their efforts. Soon, invitations went out to educators across the region. They planned a larger meeting, an event where stories could be showcased and change could be shared. But doubts crept in. What if no one showed? What if they failed to make an impact? At times, Mary wrestled with the heaviness of expectation. Each time those worries surfaced, she found herself back at her mirror, whispering, "Let it shine through me, Lord." On the day of the event, anticipation mingled with trepidation. The hall came to life with laughter, greetings, and an undercurrent of hope. Mary stood at the entrance, welcoming familiar faces and strangers alike. During the first session, she sensed a profound shift, an energy that vibrated within the room. Participants shared raw stories of disappointment, yet gradually were met with sparks of hope. The narratives flourished. Each person's testimony ignited the air, lifting hearts like wings amidst gentle winds. Then, at one moment, silences turned into hushed whispers. A teacher spoke of a child lost to the shadows of despair, and Mary felt a pull deep within her spirit. She approached the young woman, aware that her story was a convergence of the cries they had all heard. In that shared vulnerability, answers began to emerge. What if they could turn stories into actions? Initiatives that reach deep, awaken hope, and transform lives. The spirit surged, and Mary knew a divine opportunity was brewing. As the conversations deepened, she saw possibility rising up like a bright dawn. But as the day concluded, her heart bore a question: what transformation awaited them next? How would they move beyond this? What challenges would test their newfound resolve? As she gazed into the faces filled with renewed spirit, she whispered a prayer of gratitude, a heartfelt plea for guidance, ready to follow wherever the Spirit would lead. What new paths would unfold before them as they dared to step into the unknown? What divine encounters lay just beyond their reach, waiting for courage to uncover them? The evening sun dipped low, casting golden rays through the windows of the hall, now filled with a gentle hum of hopeful chatter. Mary felt an infusion of warmth in her heart as she observed the connections blossoming around her. Conversations flowed freely, laughter resonated like music, and a spirit of trust enveloped the room. But amid that joy, a stirring within her heart whispered deeper questions. What if this gathering was only the first step? As Mary mingled through the crowd, she sensed an unseen hand orchestrating this meeting, guiding each soul present towards a purpose beyond their understanding. Do you feel it? Sarah came up beside her, eyes gleaming. There is something special happening here, like the Spirit is moving among us. Mary smiled, her agreement shining through. Yes. It feels electric, doesn't it? Like hope is awakening. Let us not let this moment fade, Sarah suggested, her voice a mix of eagerness and determination. What if we could keep this momentum going in our community? Create a movement that helps those in need? Mary took a deep breath, pondering the possibilities. A movement, this idea crossed her mind before, but now it felt charged with significance. Yes. A movement forged in love and compassion. We could host workshops, invite more teachers, parents, and students to share their stories. We could provide them with tools, resources to uplift and empower. As they dreamed together, a small group began to gather around them, interested faces eager to contribute ideas. Each voice added a unique piece to their budding vision, and with each suggestion, Mary felt a surge of excitement. They were creating a tapestry of hope. Yet, within the enthusiasm, a shadow of apprehension crept in. But what if we stumble? What if it falls apart? Those thoughts nagged at her heart, but she kept pressing forward, taking each concern to prayer. As night fell and the gathering began to wind down, Mary led everyone in a closing prayer. Lord, guide us. May our efforts be pleasing to you. Let us be vehicles of your love, leading hearts to hope. Each participant echoed her words, their voices a collective choir that resonated with sincerity. When the final amen was spoken, Mary felt a wave of peace wash over her. She knew that they were being called into something profound. Later, as she walked to her car, the moonlight illuminated her path. She took a deep breath, feeling the stillness enveloping her. Out there in the vastness, she felt the Spirit, unseen, yet palpable. Her phone buzzed unexpectedly. It was a message from a colleague. Mary, have you heard about the school board meeting next week? They're discussing curriculum changes. This could really affect our project. With her heart racing, Mary realized that this could be an opening for their movement. But then, an inner question flashed: would they dare to venture into those rooms? Would they be ready to stand up, speak out, and make their vision known? She texted back an affirming response, her determination ignited anew. Yes, let us make our voices heard. As she drove home, a sense of urgency coursed through her veins. A journey lay ahead that they hadn't fully prepared for yet. But the Spirit had already paved the way. The real question bubbled within her: what new obstacles would they face? What divine strategies were awaiting their discovery? This was only the beginning. Could they really grasp the chance to influence the system from within? The dawn broke the next morning, its soft light spilling into Mary's kitchen as she poured herself a warm cup of tea. She sat at the table, thoughts swirling like the steam rising from her mug. The school board meeting loomed large in her mind. It was a chance to advocate for their vision, but fear nibbled at her resolve. "Lord, grant me courage," she whispered to the stillness around her. The warmth of her prayer enveloped her, and a calm assurance settled deep within her heart. She recalled all the excited faces from the night before, and each one stirred in her memory like seeds waiting for rain. If their desire to help could blossom, it would impact lives. She believed it. She reached for her journal, pages crammed with dreams, plans, and prayers. As she jotted down ideas for the meeting, her thoughts flowed freely. Engagement with families, she wrote, empowerment through education. The words felt like declarations, echoing deep within her spirit, inviting her to trust and to step forward confidently. A knock on the door pulled her from her reverie. It was Sarah, her eyes sparkling with renewed purpose. "Mary, I've been thinking about the meeting. We should gather more people to stand with us. When we speak, we must raise a chorus of voices." Mary's heart raced, the idea thrilled her. "Yes. Together, we can amplify our message." They spent the morning calling friends, neighbors, anyone who would listen. Each conversation stitched them closer to a movement of hope. Hearts aligned, intentions sharpened, and a wave of faith began to swell. What once felt like uncertainty transformed into a vibrant current of possibility. As they prepared for the meeting, they felt that same electric energy from the gathering. Mary couldn't shake the feeling that the Spirit was guiding them. But doubt flickered in the corners of her mind. "What if their voices drown us out?" she muttered, her fingers trembling slightly against the pages. "Remember," Sarah said softly, placing a hand over hers, "it's not about us. It's about the message, a voice for those who've been silent." A gentle reminder, like a balm for her spirit. The day arrived, and the school board room buzzed with tension as people filed in. Mary's heart pounded with nervous anticipation, but she breathed deeply, channeling the Spirit's presence. One by one, their supporters filled the seats, faith written on their faces. As the meeting began, Mary felt the energy shift. She sat beside Sarah, who squeezed her hand encouragingly. The board members appeared detached, their focus on paperwork, but Mary refused to be discouraged. When the time came for public comment, Sarah stood up first, her voice steady. "We are here not just for ourselves but for our children and our community," she declared. The room quieted, attention drawn to her words. A nod of approval from Mary, an invisible thread connecting their spirits. One by one, their friends spoke, filling the air with stories of hope and visions for change. Mary noticed a few board members leaning in, intrigued by the testimonials. Then it was her turn. Heart pounding, she rose slowly. The room breathed softly, as if waiting. "We believe in empowering our community. We believe every child deserves to thrive," she began, finding strength in her conviction. "What we seek is not just curriculum change but a chance to inject our lives with purpose and connection." A sense of unity washed over her, and she spoke passionately of workshops, support for families, and building a foundation of love. As she finished, she felt a shift, a certain connection forged in that room. She glanced around, many heads nodded, eyes enlightened. After the meeting, echoes of murmurs followed her. The Spirit was moving among them, and visions of a new dawn unfolded in Mary's imagination. But deep inside, questions remained. How would the board respond? What next steps awaited them? As she left the building, hope intertwined with the uncertainty of change. What divine revelations would they uncover in the conversations ahead? Would their efforts culminate in the transformation they prayed for? The journey was only beginning. Days turned into weeks, yet the echoes of the meeting lingered in Mary's mind. The anticipation of a response from the school board weighed heavy, like a storm cloud threatening to burst with rain. Each morning, she awoke hoping for news that felt like it was just out of reach, yet she knew something extraordinary had started. As she sat at her kitchen table one quiet Sunday morning, Mary closed her eyes, inhaling the scent of freshly brewed tea. She felt a gentle nudge to reflect on what had transpired since that fateful evening. Would their voices truly resonate beyond the confines of that school board room? She brushed her fingers over the pages of her journal, tracing the words she had written, and a spark of determination ignited within her. "God, I trust in your plan," she murmured. She had begun to gather her thoughts into what she would call the Courageous Collective, a group committed to empowering families through education. The idea felt right, a tapestry of hope woven from the individual threads of their community. As she envisioned the members they had inspired, tears pricked her eyes. Each family, each story, represented a beacon of light, waiting to shine bright. With renewed fervor, Mary reached for her phone and began a group chat. "Hey everyone! How about hosting a community gathering next Saturday? Let us share visions and unite our voices again." She felt exhilarated as responses flooded in, hearts beating in rhythmic anticipation. Their shared excitement seemed to pulse like a heartbeat, life coursing through the collective spirit of their community. The following Saturday arrived, and Mary could hardly contain her anticipation. The local community center buzzed with energy as families poured in, laughter mixing with the fragrance of homemade treats that filled the air. Chairs quickly filled as Mary, alongside Sarah, welcomed everyone, her heart swelling with warmth at the sight of familiar faces. As the gathering commenced, they shared stories and dreams, each tale building a thread into the rich tapestry of hope. Parents spoke passionately of their desires for educational changes, more arts, more engagement, and a deeper sense of belonging for their children. Mary felt the Spirit rise among them, weaving an unbreakable bond. "Let us end the night with prayer," she suggested, her voice steady but warm. Everyone bowed their heads, and Mary spoke from her heart. "Lord, we gather here, not just as parents or educators but as a community united in love. We ask for guidance, strength, and clarity as we seek to uplift our children and one another. May we always stand together, fearless in our faith and filled with the hope you promise us." When they concluded, a hushed stillness blanketed the room, a moment of divine unity. Mary opened her eyes to see tears glistening on several faces. She soaked in the warmth of their connection, sensing something miraculous was unfolding. In a quiet corner, an elderly woman, Mrs. Jenkins, raised her hand. "I feel led to share something," she said softly, voice quaking with age but warmed with spirit. "In my heart, I believe we are on the brink of something great. God is moving among us. We are being called to step into the light." A ripple of excitement spread, the atmosphere thick with anticipation. Mary's heart raced. Was Mrs. Jenkins speaking a divine truth? As conversations buzzed anew, Sarah leaned in close. "What's next for us, Mary? Where do we go from here?" Mary's mind whirled. The groundwork was set, but the path forward still felt uncharted. "I don't know yet," she confessed, "but I trust that the Spirit will guide us." And deep within her, a stirring began, a whisper echoing through her soul. What would this newfound courage lead to next? Suddenly, the church bells rang out, breaking the moment, and Mary could feel the weight of divine mystery in the air. Should they pursue a petition? An outreach program? Or allow the Spirit to guide them deeper still? With a heart wide open, riddled with questions yet brimming with hope, she knew that whatever was ahead held potential untold. As dawn broke over the quaint village, a pot of urgency filled the air. Mary awoke, her spirit afire with anticipation. The Courageous Collective had grown, blossoming into a community yearning for meaningful change. Voices had been lifted, hearts engaged, and the thread connecting them tightened with each passing day. She remembered the words of the angel from her dream, "Trust in the path before you, stars will align, and blessings will flow." What blessings awaited them now, with each cup of coffee, Mary felt a heartbeat of divine possibility. The response from the school board was now only days away. What would they decide? Would their heartfelt cries for change resonate? As she sat at her kitchen table, flipping through the pages of her journal, she began writing a prayer of gratitude. Thank you, Lord, for guiding us to this moment. Grant us the courage to embrace whatever lies ahead. The sun dipped low that evening, casting a warm hue across the community center where the collective gathered once again. Laughter and the rustle of excited chatter filled the air. As each family arrived, gratitude bubbled in Mary's heart. In their faces, she saw the light of hope, the same light that had ignited her OWN.AS. The gathering began. Mary addressed her fellow community members. We stand on the edge of a new beginning. Many of us have felt the heaviness of doubt, but together, we are a force of love and vision. Her voice soared, igniting renewed excitement among them. They shared stories of impact, of students inspired, of families uplifted, and with every testimony, unity cemented their resolve. Let us pray, Mary said, her voice steady, carving through the eager buzz in the room. 11 heads bowed, the silence that followed felt sacred. Heavenly Father, guide us. May our dreams not only uplift our children but echo through the hearts of decision-makers. Together, we trust in your divine timing. As she prayed, a hush swept through the center. Mary felt the warmth of God's presence wrap around them, each heartbeat resonating with a single purpose. When prayers ended, an electric stillness charged the air, and Mary sensed something extraordinary was at play. Suddenly, a loud knock broke the silence. The door opened, and a school board member stepped through, eyes wide. I heard the buzz and felt the energy from outside. Is this where the magic is happening? Genuine excitement rippled through the room. The unexpected presence reinforced the tangible reality of their efforts. Mary stepped forward. Yes, it is. We are a community that has come together to support our children and advocate for meaningful change in our schools. The board member, Mr. Collins, smiled warmly. I've heard your stories, your presentations, your prayers, and they're not just reaching ears, they're touching hearts. Can I join you? As he settled into the circle, laughter blended with applause. This was a moment forged in divine connection. Mary's heart swelled with gratitude, the Spirit was undeniably moving among them. As discussions unfolded, visions radiated with fervor. Ideas accumulated, educational programs, family workshops, and outreach initiatives illuminated the air. Mary started to feel the realization that their dreams could spiral into a beautiful reality. Let us align our efforts with the board, Sarah suggested. Let us make a proposal for a community education day. An event showcasing everything we've envisioned. Excitement crackled like electricity in the room, echoing the heartbeat of hope they had all felt since the beginning. Mary nodded, feeling the momentum build. Yes. A celebration of collaboration and education, a chance to show how deeply we care. With ideas flowing like a river, they dove into planning brainstorming activities that were fun, educational, and heart-centered. They rallied behind the thought of a vibrant festival, pulling the community closer, mingling families, educators, and students into a single joyful experience. Each brain added new colors to the canvas of their vision. Days rolled on as the countdown to their Community Day terrified yet thrilled them all. Each moment was a delicate dance of hope and faith. They decorated the community center with colorful banners, tables brimming with information, and registrations flowing in from families feeling the tug of something larger than themselves. The day arrived, bright and beautiful. Parents entered, curious and hopeful, joining together under the sun's warm embrace. Children laughed as they painted, learned, and played, young hearts pulsed with anticipation, igniting the spirit of a new vision, the power of united dreams. As the event unfolded, Mary took a moment to step back. She looked around, the laughter spilling into the halls like warm honey, conversations filled with connection, ideas sparking understanding. The collective effort of love had borne fruit beyond measure. But as the day wound down, she felt a gentle nudge in her spirit. What is the next step, God? she whispered into the twilight. That night, as stars twinkled brightly, Mary reflected on the journey thus far. Is this magic we've created enough? She questioned. Then, a clarity unfolded in her heart. No moment is ever truly enough. With each step, we must continue to seek greater love, deeper connection. The magic was merely a beginning. They needed to continue advocating, nourishing their community, and building bridges to reach out and uplift even more. With the dawning of each new day, Mary smiled, knowing they held the power of faith that would lead them forward. The journey was still ahead, rich with divine revelations, boundless possibilities, and an unyielding spirit. Lord, she prayed quietly, wherever you lead, I will follow. We are ready. The commitment rang through her heart like a sacred promise. The story was far from over. It was simply the beginning of a legacy grounded in faith, connection, and love. As yearnings unfolded, she sensed divine whispers, guiding her steps with assurance. A community called to rise together. And as the moon cast its luminous glow, Mary knew each day would bring its challenges and miracles alike, and together, they would meet them with courage and hope. Now, my friends, this is where you come in. Don't wait one more second. You need to subscribe immediately to the channel to stay updated with the next exclusive faith stories of transformation. Leave a like right now, feed the algorithm and let it carry these hopeful tales to others who need them. Comment below and share your own journey of faith and love. We want to hear how this resonates with you, and please, share this video instantly with at least 5 friends who are searching for faith, hope, and truth. Together, let us move forward in faith and spread this divine message.